Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hope everybody's doing good today. It's Wednesday, little virtual happy hour for you. We will do a lot of nothing, just a lot of chatting and just a little bit of catching up here. As a matter of fact, let me mute that right there. Glad you're along. Let's roll the open. Here we go. In three, two, one. I promise. Grooving. Hello, everybody. Welcome. A few minutes late, but not too bad here on a Wednesday back in the studio, the home studio. And I love saying the home studio. It's basically just a extra bedroom with a day bed and some of my stuff on the wall. It works, right? It serves. It's got its purpose. I do have my things kind of set up though, so it's all good. Bring the open sign down. Glad you're along. We'll see Michael McDermott out there out west, and hope you guys are doing good. Busy day, a lot of stuff going on. The normal ebbs and flows of a week, but then, gosh, I had the sleep doctor and had the interview for a show tomorrow, and just the normal odds and ends. Workout, bought some new shoes. All good. I'm going to get that a moment about the shoe thing, because that actually sort of sounds like it sounds like really a non-cyclical thing. That, I mean, why is he talking about new shoes? But this time, pretty big deal. Why I've got new shoes, because it's a first for me, probably at least the first, probably and maybe the first since high school, and might even be the first since forever. And I'll get to that in a moment. But let's start the show off right. Let's get Mom on. She's studying about Indiana. Here we go. Greetings, Mom. Sorry I brought you down. Let me bring you back up again. There we go.
Well, you might not want to get a close-up of me. I look pretty scary.
You got a blanket, or what are you doing?
Huh? I'm sitting in my chair with a blanket. It really isn't that. It's just chill in the house, and it's windy here, and my hair's standing
Yeah,
in.
windy here. Yeah, it's windy
Yeah,
here too. Yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah. What are you drinking? Wine? No, looks like wine.
No, it's just a nitro infused cold coffee from
I
today.
see. Okay, well, then I'll have wine for you.
Yeah, I'm had three adult beverages, 3 beers last night. That's plenty for the week. And then with the
Yeah.
Belizean holiday coming up, and we had a little dinner with Christy Blake last night, and told me to tell you hi. But we were having libations to a degree. So
Yeah.
Hudson House. You ever been to the Hudson House when you've been in town, Mom, by chance? I don't know if you've ever been. I don't know if that's a
Hudson House. Where is it?
well, there's two. There's one in Addison, but they had some kind of power issue. We went to one in Lovers down by Holland Park. But I basically it's going to sound terrible, raw bar, but it's more than that. It's got kind of a little seafood place. I kind of think you may have been there. I just don't know if
I don't
it
think
was.
so, but
Anyway,
hey,
good place.
I eat out so much I can forget easily.
Yeah. Well, a good place. We had, like I said, a nice little dinner last night, and just a nice, enjoyable Tuesday night countdown to the no mask mandate, which went into effect today. Don't think it was much different. I was out and about today. And I didn't really notice anything different per se than normal. So all good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have there was something lifted here, but I can't remember what it was. I think if you've had your 2 COVID shots, maybe you don't have to wear your band. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think you have to wear into a restaurant and out and all that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Went to the sleep doctor. They're wearing masks there, but you take them off because you got to try your mouthpiece on. And then I went to Kevin says they had a tornado warning up there in Minnesota.
Really?
I mean, in China.
It's
Yeah.
pretty windy here. It could be tornado-like. Yeah.
I was at the New Balance store and they're wearing them there. Trying to think where I was, where I saw the sign. I drove by Eatsy's and there was some folks coming in, and that's a little mini market place here in the Metroplex. They're mask free, but it just depends on where you're at. I was watching, especially in northern parts of the Metroplex, up in McKinney and Allen. Some of the news channels had some of those places up there where no one was wearing a mask, no servers, no patrons, nothing. But it's kind of, I mean, I went to a Smoothie King for lunch to get my smoothie, and everybody was wearing them there. So I mean, I guess again, the signs are still up. It's kind of there's not a law, but it's each individual place. I went into another retail establishment, and they were, you know what? I think the retail establishment was wearing it, but I can't remember. Now I think about it, I kind of feel like the young lady wasn't wearing one. Anyway, so yeah, we are not wearing masks. So, or at least by law we don't have to, but people are still wearing them. So that's what we got going on here. So anyway, that's what's going on.
Yeah.
All good though. Anything else new, exciting, fun?
No. I ran couple of errands today. I had to go sign some papers at the Council on Aging, some checks at Council on Aging, and I picked up my wine club for the month, and went to. Oh, I dropped another check I got in the mail. We sold some cotton, so there you go. And
look at you.
Yeah, and
look at you being rich.
Well, yeah. I mean, not very much. It wasn't very much.
At least you're getting paid.
Yeah, well, and it was funny. It was from the check was from a cotton company in Bakersfield, California.
Streets of Bakersfield, yeah.
Yeah,
honky tonk town out there.
Yeah, I called them to get the change of address because the check's been floating around from Mark to me, but
I think Bakersfield's kind of like the California version of West Texas. It's kind of country.
Okay, well,
it's not the highfalutin LA scene or that Southern Cal. It's out in the country.
The lady was real nice that answered the phone. She took the change of address and wanted to know the farm number. And I went and so I looked at the top of where the how when they send you a check, they have a thing you tear off and you whatever, and there was a number there. She says, "Oh yeah, that's your number." So okay, yeah. So anyway, so that was my day, and I'm trying to get a handle on something I'm doing for our Council on Aging CEO. He had hip surgery yesterday, and I'm supposed to be taking charge of Caring Connections, which is a volunteer thing we started during the pandemic, where we pair up a volunteer who's been screened, background check on the whole 9 yards, with a client, and they call each other and just talk, and they don't try to sell each other anything. It's just talking to somebody that's shut in. And a crazy one, the one that I have been in contact with, she lives in Plano. That's volunteering. She lives in Plano, Texas. So anyway.
Yeah, we have folks down here. We have people living down here.
But it was posted on our website, and we've had from California people wanting to volunteer to talk to these elderly people who can't get away. And I mean, you can call them a couple of times a week, just pass the time of day, whatever. But I'm trying to get a handle on where I need to be in that picture. So, but anyway, so it's kind of interesting. I did get in touch by email with that lady from Plano, and we're doing a background check on her now. So, you can't just put people in touch with people in our world today. Isn't that crazy? You've got to do a background check just to be a friggin' volunteer. So there you go. So I'll get on the other side. So
all right. Well, Georgette says hello. So Georgette's going to respond.
Georgette, I've been of course I still get the Railcat news, and I saw some real cool picture just a little while ago showing why people love the Railcats, and it was when they pair up with little kids, and they do the national anthem. It was a picture, and I thought that was It was a really cool picture. And
Well,
so,
we'll be there. Supposed to be there June 8th, 9th, and 10th, I believe, in the Gary ballpark. So,
well, I guess I'll be there too.
yeah. So anyway,
Unless I'm somewhere else, I'll be
unless you're
there.
somewhere else, all right, all
I
right.
don't know where else I would be, but anyway. So I'll get
The
on the other
Keys.
side.
All right.
Okay, love you.
Love you, Mom. There we go. There's Mom up in Indiana. Take it away, Mom. Your jam is let's see here. They did a boot giveaway today. What was it? I didn't see that. Georgette, I got to admit, I've kind of been on and off today. So I've a couple things. I got to teach tomorrow and Friday, fourth graders, which I got to tell you, that's kind of my limit. Fourth grade is as low as I can go without having to call the National Guard. That plus we're leaving town on Saturday. So we're all kind of wrapping all that stuff up anyway. But I didn't get a chance to really see what was going on there. But let's see here. Let me see something here. Here we go. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to. I've kind of been in and out of social media today. Although at the Steel Yard, okay, a boot giveaway at the Steel Yard today. Okay, well that's cool. That's pretty cool because actually, and you guys just got back. How was Mexico? I love seeing Gary and Georgette Skonerski, friends of ours who live there in Chicagoland on the Indiana side, and her sister lives in the DFW, and they all got together a family trip down to, I believe, I know one of the daughters went with you. I don't know if both. I remember I saw the pictures; they were great. And Gary looked awesome in those cool jackets, and your sister's husband looked cool. What was so cool about this trip that I thought was neat. They went to Mexico, which is always interesting. But and knowing that some friends of ours that we went with dinner last night, they had just come back. They were there during the snowstorm. My brother's going Monday down there with his youngest, but what was really cool was I love it when the family gets together and they do a trip like that, and they all wore these really cool, at least the dudes did. They wore these cool blazers, and they were actually, they were novelty, but they were really cool. I mean, I would wear one. They were like real flowery, over the top, cool looking tropical blazers. They look sharp. And I think the nephew wore a suit that was like, matching, it had to be a suit, slack and jacket that was like wild blue and yellow with flowers. Really cool. I mean, they looked like they had a lot of fun down there. So, yeah, Mexico is amazing. Yeah, the big news today, it's been a busy day here. And in between my errands and all that, listening to the DAC press conference today, that was a huge news today here in the DFW. I talked about this on Monday. We were talking about it when I was coming back from the doctor on Monday. By the way, you can still see 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. You can see those two. I mean, I look like some kind of crazy person. 2 spots. 2 spots here. 5 spots to get me. They were to draw blood from my labs, and they had a hell of a time finding a vein. So I got stuck. So I'm walking out there like a pincushion. I mean, I had all these. I mean, anyway, but long and short, yeah. Long and short of it. So yes, the DAC news was cool today. In case you guys didn't see that, of course, the headline in the Days D magazine was all the rich Californians are coming to Dallas. And then, of course, they made a young man from Mississippi pretty rich today, too. So that's all good. Very happy with that. But really cool. I asked me what I think about it. I think it's good. It's hard to find a quarterback in the NFL. The Mahomes of the world don't grow on trees. If they did, everybody would have one. There was a time from Troy Aikman's retirement in 2000, until Romo kind of fell on their lap in 2006 or 7. They went through about 5 or 6 years of just the rotating, revolving door of the Quincy Carters. They had Drew Bledsoe here, was the guy that was going to right the ship. He got hurt, and insert Romo, who came in off basically an unknown, undrafted guy, held the spot, and now they fell into that class of 2016, which was Jared Goff, Carson Wentz. Both those two quarterbacks went way ahead in the draft. And the Cowboys that year were trying to get Paxton Lynch, I believe, weren't they, in that same draft? Right? That right, the 2016 draft? Lynch came out of Memphis. I don't think, has he been in the league anymore, or is he backing up somewhere? He hadn't done anything. And the Cowboys did not take a quarterback in that first round. They waited to the fourth round, took Prescott. Romo gets hurt. I guess it was during training camp, right? Is that right? During training camp, yeah, they opened the season with Prescott as a starter, and he had a great year, won his first, 11 ball games. Romo came back, was the backup, and then Romo eventually retired now in the broadcast booth. But the Cowboys, by blind luck at a fourth-round draft pick, got Prescott. So my big reaction to that is you just can't find quarterbacks anywhere. They just don't, again, if they were so easy to find, everybody would have one. Good to see Nate. Brother Michael, good to see you too. But yeah, they had him. I mean, they just don't, even the sure. I mean, who was it? There was a great article, gosh, at SI, and there's been a couple of them about what was the year that Peyton Manning came out, and that was another big debate about who should be taken. And what was it? The guy from Washington State. Oh gosh, what was that draft? I'm just drew a blank here. Oh gosh. That draft would have been, what was that draft? 2000 and he was a senior in 2000. No, it was 96, right? Is that right? 88 NFL draft. The 98 NFL draft. My bad. 98 NFL draft. What was that going to be? Yeah, it was Ryan Leaf, and who was another guy who came through here, had to swim through DFW with the Cowboys too. I mean, it was a big debate, Manning or Leaf. That was a big, and look at that. I'm just going to look at that. Look at that draft. Here are the quarterbacks in that draft. Let's see here. Leaf never made it. He flamed out. Had a really sad story, but he's got a redemption story out there now, which is kind of cool. See him try to turn his life around. Let's see. Who else in that draft? That was the top 2 picks that year. So my point is, I mean, Charlie Batch, well, decent time in the NFL. Scott Frost never made it in the NFL as a quarterback. I'm just looking down. He's now coach. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of. I mean, Brian Greasy, I guess, will be the most successful of that bunch, except for Manning in that 98 draft. My point is, they just don't grow on trees. So the only problem is, in 1993, 92, the NFL was different. You had the Plan B for agency. There was no salary cap, so you could surround an Aikman with as many bodies as you wanted to. The only problem is now supporting cast, and that's going to be the real challenge. And the real challenge of a GM is to put the surrounding cast around them, their supporting cast around them, and hopefully that will make this club better. And that's going to be the issue, because they're going to be, hoping the salary cap goes up. It should, in theory, help put some pieces around them, but you're going to be hamstring. So my initial reaction is, hey, you had to do it. I mean, you let him walk, you might strike gold again. You might hit something, but even a first-round draft pick's no sure thing, as we've seen. What we mean, look, that first-round picks of 2016, 2 of them are gone. Wentz and Goff are now on new teams. So when you get a fourth-round guy and you got a little bargain, you played on bargain money for the first 4 years, it's time to pay the fiddler, and he's earned his keep. So I'm all good. I'm happy with that. Hey, good to see you, Nate, out there. And just talking about Australia today earlier. Hope you had a good time over there, my friend. But yeah, you strike with the iron's hot. You got it, and yeah, it's going to be interesting how they navigate. And this is where the real challenge of an NFL GM. This is where I get worried. It's putting the pieces around them. I'd feel a lot better if they hadn't given all that money to Zeke Elliott. I mean, Why you give a running back that kind of money was beyond me. I mean, talk about look out that window. They're out there. Running back shelf life, or not everybody's Emmitt Smith and going to be playing forever or whoever. I mean, there's most of those guys don't last 7, 8, 9 years. 10 years is stretching it. And Elliott, that's the one concern of the contract I have is the fact that you've hamstrung yourself by signing your life away to a running back. But quarterback, I got no problem with. I'm glad. It's very good for Dak. He's a nice young man. He's a good kid. I mean, I think he's a good person. I think he's along the lines of Patrick Mahomes. I think he's that kind of guy, that kind of young man, and not quite up there with the skins on the wall. But hey, you know what? It's a crapshoot in sports. We know this. I mean, you can hindsight all the time, and hindsight's 2020. But the NFL that you've got to. So I guess my answer to you, Georgette, is all good. So Gary should be fired up. Yeah, we're talking about that Mexico trip was amazing for you guys. I gotta check that out. I wonder if they make them like fat kid sizes, because I'm telling you, I wish you guys could have seen these pictures. But Georgette, our friend Georgette and Gary, their family went down to Mexico. Good to see Meredith out there in KC. Brother Gandy down in Houston. Good to see you, brother. Can we beat UT 3 times in our season? That's why I was hoping to play WVU, because I thought we'd at least have a chance to beat them 1 out of 3. But anyway, what was so cool, though, back to the whole Mexico thing, to see them in those cool, fun jackets, having fun. I mean, at some point, my wife and I have got to do a trip with you guys at some point. Anyway, we will be doing a trip. We're going to Belize on Saturday. So that's ramping up. And we found Belize by accident last year. You maybe remember the story. Caroline was in Italy. We planned on going to Italy to celebrate it. Well, she was there studying. We were going to go over for her 20th birthday. My mom was going to go. We had all these plans to go to Tuscany and to Milan and to Rome and all this stuff. And then she got sent home. UD shut down their campus. Had that major COVID outbreak in Italy that spread across Europe. And then, we didn't go. And we had to scramble for someplace the last minute in this side of the world that was, sort of a getaway. Belize have always been on our radar. Nothing against Mexico. I think Mexico's fine, but I think we wanted something different. I'd been to Mexico a bunch, and my wife had too. We really love Belize. We're going back to the same place where we went last year. I think one day, Lord willing, we'll have a place down there. I think maybe a business. I don't know, but we'll go down there. I'm looking forward to it. And my wife and I, we had a really good time last year. Recharging, reconnecting, whatever you want to call it. And with the baseball season presumably looming in some form or fashion, this may be our last chance until the fall, perhaps. Although we spent a lot of time together in the summertime, but it's not really, she's proofreading game stories and at the ballpark hanging out. And I mean, it is a vacation for her, but not so much a vacay for me. So this will be really good times for us. And then we have a late Easter trip too, which we mentioned last week, which looking forward to that. But anyway, how are you guys doing? What's going on with you guys? I want to pull something up here while I'll try something in a moment. I want to see, what was the final deal on that? What was the final contract deal? It was... Let's see here. And I'm reading, this is one thing I did read about this whole Dak thing. And this is the one thing I think that also helped push this over the top. The salary cap was a bit in flux, but apparently there's something in the back burner with the NFL's future television deal. Let's say CBS. It's obviously Fox, the NBC package, ESPN package. Everybody's getting a piece of the pie, but apparently Amazon is in the piece of this thing too. It looks like this $40 million a year per season is what it's going to be. At some point, they'll have to probably renegotiate at some point, but There's definitely 100 billion in television rights that are up in the air, and there's a big forecast out there because you've got a couple things in play here. Amazon is a big player now after their experiment with it last year. The Sunday Ticket, which is got one more year in that contract, that is up. Will that go back to DirecTV? Will it be farmed out? Will the NFL bring it in-house? How's that going to work? The subscription service alone is a massive windfall. Whoever gets it, there goes Max. But all kinds of things in the mix there, but all good news though. So anyway, good to see that. Good for Dak. That was the big news here. The Metroplex. What do you guys got going on today? What is everybody doing? Tell me what y'all got. You got plans for spring break? If you got one, if you don't, that's all good. But hear what you guys got going on. It's going to be a little more, at least it feels normal down here with the mask coming off. Then, of course, I mentioned that wouldn't affect today. I didn't see anything unmask worthy. And there was no, it was pretty much business as usual, but I think it's more just if you want to wear one, fine. If you don't, but if you're coming to our place and if you come into our place and the sign says wear a mask, you wear a mask. If it says, no wear a mask, you don't wear a mask. It's kind of, that's the lay of the land. Grill it out. Yeah, we're going to do that tonight too. I got steaks marinating downstairs. We had to clear out some space for the trip. So we got some steaks marinating. We're going to fire the grill up, even though it's a little overcast, but it's not terrible. I did get a little gadget today that I'm excited about. This little thing here. It's like power bank, one of those little cool portable portable power banks you can take with you, run your phone, your laptop. But this one has got it. Can you see this? You know what that is? Max! Come here, buddy. It's all right, bud. That is solar power. How about that? Isn't that cool? So you charge it. It's also got a little light, a little flashlight here. But anyway, it's solar powered. Now you charge it, but in case you're out in the sun, on the back of your backpack and the broadcast booth, this is going to come in handy on the bus, sitting out in the sun, and it charges up while it's out in the sun. So I'm really excited about this little thing. It's durable. It's got a place to charge all your devices there. It's also will sit on top like that, but it's got this little. Now you can buy them with the big fold out. You can buy these fold out ones that are really big that have a lot more power. But this one will, you charge it up, but it'll also stay charged in the sun. It's not. Its main purpose is not to charge your stuff in the sun, but it will run it off in the sun. And if you're out in the sun 8, 9, 10 hours a day, it's going to be perfect. So I'm excited about this little toy. I had never bought one of those power banks, but I think it was the right one to buy. Yeah, solar. Yeah. Let's see here. Started cleaning out my fish pond. It's spring cleaning, right? Yeah, it is. It's spring cleaning time. I saw my neighbor out there in her shrubs this morning, and I saw a lot of that today when I was walking. Let's see here. What do we got? Georgette says, yeah, for a few more weeks, the mandate. I get it. It doesn't really change anything for us. All it's basically is, we're going to still wear a mask. Like here's the Monarchs mask here. Still going to wear a mask. I as I told you guys, I'm going to share with you guys a story in a moment. What happened to me as far as the vaccine. So we're going to continue to follow the rules that places have. We may, we're not going to be crazy about it, but the most important thing is be considerate and have your liberty as well. So that's all good. Yeah, it's solar. That's solar. Yeah, isn't that cool? I can see this being like actually like it outside the broadcast booth, man. I can just sit out there on the edge, and it frees up one thing. But again, it'll charge forever. It'll run forever. But it's also just hang on the back of your backpack or whatever. And I think this is a great little toy for us to have. We won't have any issues having to go back to the hotel when we're traveling or whatever in the car. Even in the car, you can put it. We charge on the dashboard or whatever. It's kind of cool. Yeah, that's a yeah. I remember him. He's a nice kid, wasn't he? Been in the big leagues. Eduardo Paredes. That's cool. Yeah, and again, that's really what it's for. It's for roughing it, or even people that don't have electricity. It's boy, some of those places, Venezuela, boy, I pray for those folks down there. Get our vaccines next week. Now, let me show you my vaccine story. And I told you guys this last week. Caroline got hers. I gave the state, Dallas County, FEMA, United States military, all A pluses. What they did at Fair Park. Now, if you've never been to DFW, Fair Park is the fairgrounds. It's the fairgrounds that every state has a town that's, Des Moines got the fairgrounds. I'm assuming in Indianapolis has the fairgrounds. I'm assuming, I don't know where, I know in St. Paul is the fairgrounds, right, Kevin? Each state's got their fairgrounds somewhere. I don't know, everyone, well, Dallas has the fairgrounds here. It's the state fairgrounds. And they did a really good job. I mentioned we had a 2:00 appointment. We got there at 1:15. We drove to and from, which the fairgrounds from us is probably a 30-minute drive. Normally, it wasn't too bad in traffic. Coming back was bad in traffic as it was a freeway shutdown with an accident. And it took us longer to get back home than it did for us to get the vaccine for Caroline. I couldn't get it. Again, it was very efficient. And you pull up, you're like going, oh my gosh, this looks terrible. Like this is going to be a zoo. And we kept saying to ourselves, we're going to wait a minute. Eventually we're going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait eventually. We finally got to the end of the lot to the place to get in. There was 20 lanes, 3 cars each under this tent. Bingo, bingo, bingo. The Army was putting the vaccine in. Well, I'd filled out the paper. And this is the only complaint I have. Everything else has gone great. The vaccine here in Dallas County, they believe 75% of Dallas County will be vaccinated within 3 weeks. How about that? They believe next week anybody 50 and older will be up. Come on and get it. There's not going to be, they're out of the whole woods of, first responders, people with, healthcare issues are now on the point of, hey, come on and get it. Right. That's where they're close to that next week. And there'll be 3 weeks time. That'll be all 75% of people will be vaccinated. There'll be me hanging out in the weeds, and there's why. Okay. So here's the deal. I had the Regeneron infusion back in January, right? We talked about that, how it got me. I mean, tested positive Wednesday at lunch, went in on Thursday at 3 p.m, and by midnight that night, actually when I left Baylor Hospital at 8 o'clock that night, I already felt better. And I woke up the next morning feeling markedly better. And by Saturday, I passed my wife. She went downhill. By Monday, I worked out to my normal workout the whole time I worked out. As a matter of fact, Saturday and that Monday, I don't work out on Sunday, but Saturday and Monday, I worked out my normal hour plus. Walking. But the Regeneron, the problem is it's those antibodies. So the captain comes up to me and she says, the United States Army says, what did you do? It's called, whatever antibody treatment. I said, well, it was January 28th or whatever. I said, well, it's good for at least 90 days. And she started counting up. She's like, and this was her quote, if you take the vaccine, the antibodies will eat the vaccine alive. It's like, wow. Well, so I'm all good. The only problem is I checked when they sent they sent you the screening. They ask you the questions the county does. You check all the boxes. You had COVID, yes, blah, 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 all the things. You allergic to medicine. One of the things they ask you, do you have the antibody treatment? I said, yes. It didn't set off a red flag. It went ahead and gave me a QR code and a time to go get my vaccine. That's the only brief I have because, granted, Caroline needed somebody to go with her. And so I went with her. But it'd been nice to have known that couldn't get it because I got the other thing I was going to get it. I didn't get it. That's the only hitch in the system. The only reason I don't give them an A+ is because somewhere in their computer system, like for example, if I went and bought, I don't know, I go and buy this online, right? And I put my credit card number in and I don't put the expiration date and I push buy, it's going to kick it out and give me a little red thing saying, oh, you can't, or whatever. But if the credit card doesn't work, they're not going to let me use it. Max! Buddy. Babe. Come here, bud. Come here. Come here. What's going on? Are you okay? Okay, mom's back. Anyway, that's the only complaint I have is the fact that they gave me a QR code and it should have kicked me out. It should have said, sorry, sir, you're not eligible for it. I mean, it's like if they said, have you had the vaccine already? And I would have clicked yes, they would not give me a QR code. That's the only complaint I had. Other than that, Dallas County, A+, except for that, so it drops it to an A- or A, I guess. That's the only problem I had. And that's the only issue I had. So I can't get the vaccine at least until probably April or May. The only problem for me is by then I'll be in Kansas City. We don't come to Texas until our first trip to Texas is in June, 4th, 5th, and 6th. 2 of those are weekend days. So probably I'm looking at June 4th before I can even get the vaccine, unless I fly home on an off day to get the vaccine, the second, because I'll be able to get the first shot, but I won't be able to get the second shot. So that's the only drawback for me, is that now I'm kind of in limbo. I have the antibodies, which is good news. The bad news is I don't know when I'm going to get it. So let's play catch up here. What do we got here? Minnesota will keep their mask mandate as long as yeah. Funny, Kevin. Funny. Eduardo is an awesome, super nice guy. I saw that. It's on the Mexican League too. That's cool. I think he signed with the team my buddy Todd Van Stencil, who's Australian, signed with. I think that's right. I gotta look that up. I believe they signed with the same team. Mom says Indy State Fairgrounds, but Elkhart. Well, yeah, every county has fairgrounds. I mean, Denton County is in Denton. Lubbock County has a fairgrounds in downtown Lubbock. But yeah, the state fairgrounds are in Dallas. Usually it's the capital. Usually, but this is one of the few states that's not the capital. I mean, St. Paul, obviously, Des Moines, but. Yeah, the state fairgrounds are not in Austin. They've been in Dallas forever. I mean, going back, prior to it's over 100 years, 130 years, something like that. So Elkhart's better. Okay, well, I'll take your word for it, Mom. State fairgrounds just don't have a state fair anymore. Yes. I'm sorry about that, Kevin. Well, here's the deal, Kevin. 100% capacity opening day at Globe Life Field. That's going to happen. That was announced also in the last 24 hours. You're going to see that. Rangers are going to have a gradual increase in attendance, which tells me if they're going to do the Rangers and the Cowboys and have 100% and college football 100%, you'll have state fair in September, October of next year. So you can come down and have a corn dog on us. Teachers with the vaccine at Concord, that's good. Yeah, that's really good. That's awesome. That's good to hear. They need to. And the Frank Duncan in Winterball in Venezuela. Yeah, Frank Duncan was down there in Venezuela a while back. Of course, KU Jayhawk. I'm looking forward to meeting Frank. Signed with the Monarchs. Texas must have closed their border to COVIDs. It's the smartest daggum virus, Kevin. That's all I can say. It's crazy. I think back a year ago yesterday, Caroline arrived from Philly via Rome. She went to 14-day lockdown after getting back. I can't decide if it's been 3 years in a year or 10 years in a year, but it seems like, it's just a weird thing. And we're talking about this today with somebody earlier on the phone. It was like, back before COVID or pre-COVID, it's now, back before 9/11. Now it's going to be before pre-COVID. That pre-COVID, that's going to start dating you. I met my wife before pre-COVID, or I had my, whatever. I had that job before pre-COVID. My post-COVID, whatever. That's what we're going to be doing now. Let me show you a fun story. This is fun. I'm very proud of this. I don't know if the shoebox is behind me. I can't reach it, but this is going to sound really bizarre when I tell you this, But I went and got new shoes today. But I got new workout shoes. Over the years, I have bought pairs of workout shoes here and there and never wore them out. The last time I went the major weight loss in 2013, I bought a pair of workout shoes and I used them some, but my workout then was more pool related. I did a lot more stuff in the pool and I just really watched the diet. I didn't do a lot of cardio. Now I've been doing a lot of cardio. I did 62 minutes today. I did 74 yesterday, 73 on Monday. It's about 3 miles and change roughly. Trying to get, a minimum of 6,000 steps, between 6,000 and 10,000. 6,000 is a minimum per day. Anyway, I finally wore out my shoes. And I wore them out a while ago, but I didn't realize you could, about 500 miles or so, you need to get a new pair of shoes, especially being a heavy body. I wore out my shoes and I had to go get new shoes, new workout shoes. I've never had that happen. I mean, in high school, I'm sure I did, but I think that doesn't really count because you're playing sports all the time. You're not out of shape. You're not being docile in your office. This is back in the day when you were blowing and going as a high school. Got class, got football, got soccer. I mean, I had shoes for every sport. I wore those. I mean, I was wearing shoes out then all the time. Post high school, probably post college even, this is the first time in my life that I've worn out a pair of shoes for working out, for walking, running, jogging, whatever. I mean, I've worn out shoes, I've worn out suit shoes and things like that over that, but that would take, I wore a pair of suit shoes out that, 10 years, right? But I bought those probably last January-ish, maybe December. I mean, I bought them back before COVID, but it was right before, and I wore them out. And so anyway, I'm going to show you guys my new shoes. I know it's kind of cool, but new shoes. Oops. There we go. They do great. My Vans aren't the ones. The Vans I took off because I had those on earlier. But those are my new workout shoes. Look at those. How about that? There we go. So I'm really excited. It sounds like a minor thing, but I think more than the weight loss has been up and down, and I needed to feel good because I've been stuck in the same cycle of weight for about really since Thanksgiving. I've never peaked above a certain weight, but never gotten below. I've been in the same 10-pound, 11, 12-pound window. And I've not gotten below X point, and I've not gotten above X point. I've been right in the middle, and it's been frustrating. I do know I'm in better shape because when I was just traveling last week, for example, walking to the airport, no issues, nothing. I think I told you guys that I used to have to sit down on the walks between gates and things like that. My back would cinch up, and that's not happening, so that's good. So, Air Vons. They are Air Vons, yeah. Air Vons. Let's see here. Kevin says they're opening up to more seating the Iowa Wild at the 5. Minnesota Wild could have 250. Yeah. I mean, again, it's weird. I was telling this to my friend over in Australia today when I had it was his 6:30 a.m., 1:30 in the afternoon here. Every state, every town's different. It's the most bizarre thing. There's been no it's political too. I mean, that's part of it too. But yeah, so I'm excited. I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous, but I needed a little feel good. The fact that I've worn those shoes out, and the guy looked at me and goes, "Yeah, I think you need a new pair." Oh, I knew that, but I hadn't even thought about it until really last week. And my heel was kind of bugging me the last couple of weeks. I'd worn the heel down in those shoes and immediately put these on and wore them home, and my heel felt better already. So I'll give these a go for 500 miles. And anyway, I'm glad I got a different color. The old ones are blue. I guess I can't reach them. They're behind me. But it's a small thing for me, but that's a big thing. Because the fact that I've worked out hard enough and long, because there's days I'm like, what am I doing? Especially when I get up at 10 till 6, like I'll do tomorrow, and walk 45 minutes just to get something in before I go to school. And, wonder some days, was it worth it? And when that scale doesn't move, but I know I've worn those shoes out, so I've done something right. And I wore those things 5 days a week, and they're, and then I wear them for about an hour a day, and I worn them down. That's good. So I'll take that as a bit of a win for me. So it's a feel good win for me. It's a little thing, but all good. So pretty fired up about it. So that's what I want to share with you guys today. I'm going to try one thing too. I want to share the screen just to see if it works. I did learn a little bit of a what do you want to call it? A solution to my problem last week that I had. Remember, I couldn't work. I was having a hard time getting the audio to work. So I want to try something here and see. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna roll back to. Sorry about that. I'm gonna go back to my show on. This would have been Monday show. Oops, sorry about that. I'm gonna screen share. I'm just gonna see if it works, because if it works, then I know that I solved my problem. Remember, we had a little trouble that I couldn't get the audio to work. So I'm gonna see if it'll work here. And I believe I solved my issue because I wasn't. Let's see here. This is me last week. Mute this. Unmute it. Let me see if this works and just see if you guys. Let me know if you're hearing this, okay? All right, let's see if that worked. I'm going to stop it there. So I think is it not working here? Yeah, it's not working there. It's weird. Thought I'd try it. Let you guys. Yeah, it's weird. Well, don't know why it's not working. They told me that my solution was going to work, so I got to keep working on it. Okay, well, don't know why. It's weird, man. Yeah. Okay. Well, it didn't work. So, all right. All good. Well, anyway, I was just going to try it out, you guys, and just to see. So I got to go back to the drawing board. Supposedly there's something I'm not doing right that they're not doing right. So we'll figure it out. But anyway, I want to try that out. So we know it's not working. All good. All right. So I'm glad you guys joined us. Friday, we'll test beer out. I'll be a few minutes late. I got the dentist at 4. We'll test some beer out and we'll get set up for the weekend and what lies ahead for our trip. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm glad you guys joined me all across North America. The Australia folks are still asleep on a Thursday morning, right? Yeah. We will fire the grill up here shortly and get rolling. And again, glad you guys stopped by. Let's be better tomorrow than we were today. Let's show more love. Let's be kind. Let's wear a mask if we've got to. If you don't want to wear one, don't. Let's just be better tomorrow than we were today. Let's keep doing that. Let's show more love, empathy, and just try to be better human beings and not just fight over everything. And let's just let's be better. All right. Virtual hugs. I love you guys. Deputy Ford will be back with me on Friday. She was tutoring earlier. Much love to y'all. We'll see y'all on Friday, right after 5 o'clock on Virtual Happy Hour. Love y'all. See y'all then.